Alright, so YouTube, I'm looking to build my own sniper rifle as a project. I think it could be fun, a little use of time outside of school. So I went looking online to try to find something with a pistol grip, something that kind of fit what I was going for. And I came across this, which is a Well MB06. I've already put a couple modifications on here, but I'm going to put some more on, and I'll make more videos for those, and hopefully it can become a little series. I don't know if anybody will want to watch it, but it'll be out there. Okay, well, a little bit of background while I was looking into this gun. So first off, I'm not 100% sure of this, but I'm fairly certain that it's modeled after the Macmillan TAC-50. And a little bit of fun history about the Macmillan TAC-50. So Macmillan, the firearm group, was created by a pair of brothers in Arizona in 1973. Originally, the company produced rifle stocks, but when one of their stocks was used as the first genuine tactical sniper stock for the U.S. military, they started to get more traction. And with that increased traction in 2007, they decided to branch out and start creating their own complete firearms. Now the TAC-50 is by far their most popular one. As the name suggests, it fires a 50 BMG cartridge. Interestingly, it holds 3 of the top 5 spots or records for longest recorded sniper kills in history. And they have the #1 top longest range shot, which was made by a Canadian JTF-2 operator in 2017 against an ISIS fighter. It's relatively lightweight when compared to other 50 BMG rifles, like the Barrett 50 cal is typically what comes to mind. And it maintains accuracy up to extremely long ranges, which allowed it to hit those shots. Also the operator, it's more about the operator, but you know, the gun helps. But the big downside with the rifle, the real rifle, is that its recoil is absolutely awful. It's incredibly, like if you look up videos on YouTube, people get pummeled with it. Purely speculatory, but this is why I think that it's going to be replaced by the Barrett MRAD in not such a short time span, because the MRAD shoots a 338 Norma Magnum round, but that's a whole nother story. So anyways, that's some history on this guy. Now let's go through the pros and cons of the Airsoft version and why I picked it as the base gun to work off of. Well, first off, it's inexpensive. I got this for $72 off Airsoft GI. You know, it's hard to find VSR 10 clones that are that cheap. It's got a pistol grip. Most real shooters and just even airsofters, everybody will tell you that pistol grips allow you to maintain accuracy. It gives you a steadier base to shoot from, and it's much easier to wield a weapon with a pistol grip. It's easy to find upgrade parts. Actually, that was one I was surprised with, but when doing my background research, this is based off the APS-2 style internal format, and so the only 2 proprietary parts are the trigger and the cylinder. But even those 2, you can actually go to Airsoft Pro, which is a Czech company, and they produce those parts as well. So really everything in here is modifiable and pretty easy to find online. The anatomy is unbelievably easy. This gun is so easy to disassemble. It's got very few moving parts. Very easy to diagnose if a problem comes up. It's very lightweight, and one of my goals for creating this, which I'll talk about in another video, but friends and I are going to go on a long backpacking trip and play Airsoft in a pretty intense way with camping involved and pretty long ranges. So I wanted something that was light and mobile, but something that could reach out and touch people from 200 to 300 feet. And so this is something that I'm going to be able to throw in my backpacking backpack keep on my back, and then when an engagement pops up, I can just pop it down and use it. So that was kind of one of the goals. Also, I was looking for collapsible stock for that same reasoning. Finally, the other two pros of this gun are 90-degree trigger steers. So this stock trigger, which I'm going to upgrade actually, but you don't really need to. Even with a heavy spring and a lot of stuff in here, it can handle it. These are 90-degree trigger steers off the bat, so you know, it can last for a long time. And then finally, as the last pro, this is pretty uncommon to see out on a field, and so, you know, having an upgraded one, having one that can really function, it's kind of cool looking. Like, it makes you different. It's not a Norwich, and it's not a you know, it's not a VSR-10. You'll stand alone, so that's kind of neat. Now the cons. Okay, so the worst con by far is that the stock is incredibly cheap. It's plastic, or the buffer tube, I mean, not the stock, but the buffer tube is incredibly cheap and plasticky. It's held in here by a single long pin, and you can tighten that up from the back, and so you can put it back down, but eventually if this plastic starts to wear, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. I'm gonna look into 3D printing some parts to see if I can like replace it if need be, but hopefully it doesn't, you know, become a problem. Right now it's very firm. Right now there's no play in it at all, but I have seen in threads online that becomes a problem. It doesn't have any stabilizers for the cylinder as a con number 2, and you know, the trigger box. There's no, or hop up. There's no real stabilizers in here. It's just a cylinder, you know, piston, spring guide, spring, cylinder head, trigger, and a hop up. There's no, I don't know, nothing to make sure everything's in line. So you just need to be careful with it, and you know, I might try to put some felt in there or something to try to make sure everything fits nicely, but I'm not too worried about it right now. So like I mentioned before, the cylinder and the trigger are both proprietary. That's kind of a bummer, but not the end of the world. And finally, the hop up isn't very quickly adjustable. So the hop up is located up here at the front, and it takes this very long Allen key to make movements, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. So that's kind of a pain, but not the end of the world. And yeah, that is a brief overview of the gun. Obviously I've got some upgraded parts on here already, but I'll put a stock picture next to this so that you guys can get an idea before the aftermarket things, and I'll run a tally of prices for everything I put in here at the end of each video, so you know, you guys can track along and see where I'm at. All right, peace.